There were two reasons, usually, in Germany, when you heard cars honking in a parade down through town, honking, honking, driving, and you could hear them shouting. One reason was a wedding going on, and they had a wedding party and went from wherever the ceremony happened to their location of reception and party. So, The other one was a big soccer game win. That's how I imagine this Psalm 100. Honk, honk, honk. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Celebrate God. It's like this exuberance. And some of us are really great at resonating and seeing the beauty and feeling like, yay, wow. That is the extroverted ones of us who are kind of, I'm jumping in the crowd, I'm dancing the dance, I'm all part of it. There are another part of us who reflect on the beauty internally. There can be just this one cardinal outside on a tree, and you see it and you feel it and you feel in the beauty some gratitude is welling up in you. And to me, it's almost like this afterglow. There is a glow of an experience of a beauty, just like the experience, it's still radiating, like you have been sitting around the campfire and you're going back into the tent or returning into your home, and some of that glow, some of that beauty is still shining. And that gratefulness welling up in you, and you feel it deeply. You don't have to shout it out, but it's right present there with you. Now, to me, one of my spiritual saints, one of the great saints for me is Meister Eckhart, because he says, everything else in the world, if you sum it down and want to put it in an essence, the vial, distill it to the core of what really matters in terms of faith, it comes down to gratitude. Thank you. That's what he says. It's all you need, a grateful heart to see the beauty, to live it, to share yourself, to dwell in beauty, to behold the beauty. It's all it takes, a grateful heart. And you have heard the saying, like, don't wait until you're happy to be grateful. But practice gratitude, just like Linda in her journal, and you will discover yourself to be happy and blessed and something bubbling over, like in Psalm 23, the cup runneth over, it bubbles over with gratitude, with beauty, when you start counting the blessings and writing them down. Now, my experience is that gratitude and thank you don't always come naturally to us. They're a little bit like that muscle. Needs a little bit of exercising, working at it, getting the workout. Doesn't happen on its own. And I remember just my mother looking down at me and saying, Dietmar, what are the magic words? Thank you. How do you say when you get a gift? Thank you. So some of that is a learning and a letting it seep in, and then it settles in the heart, and hopefully it becomes second nature. And maybe even working ourselves toward discovering the beauty, it may become first nature when you approach someone, see something in gratitude, moving that way. Now also, I remember looking on at my mom at the kitchen table, and she had a stack of cards, and she had the stamps, everything there, and she faithfully wrote thank you notes herself. And I looked on and thought, well, I can do that too. Well, the first card was not easy to write. Second card was not easy to write, so it took practice to express that. I'm still writing cards, and sometimes, yeah, but there is beauty in every single thank you you express. So it's one thing that my mother passed on to me that I keep passing on and that I encourage you to look at. What are you grateful for? How do you express that gratitude? Because sometimes it does not come naturally. It wants to be practiced. I'm still fascinated. When I call 911, someone will pick up and help us on the way. You know, I understand it's all people there and scheduled and all, but someone shows up. There are EMTs, firefighters, medics, there are police protectors out there, and it takes one call and they come. Wow. Hopefully, I will not need them in a long time. But when I do, someone shows up. Isn't that something to be grateful for? It's kind of, wow. And if you have ever been there and were in need of it, that's when you know how much that really means. Another way of just practicing gratitude is when we sit around a meal. Sigrid and I, we share our meals, and then we do our ritual, German table blessing. And sometimes I'm stopping for a while and thinking of, well, this English muffin, from where did it come? Well, there were some farmers involved. It took the rain, it took the sun for the wheat to grow. Then it went somewhere through the harvesting, it has been milled, it has been transported. There were some people on a truck driving it. Then it got in the bakery, it came in the store. So there are so many people, so many connections for this single English muffin to make it to my place. It's kind of this, wow, being grateful along the way when you see the connections. To me, it's an opportunity, just stopping a little bit in the moment and having this reflection on it, rather than being in the moment, rushing and running and being all over the place. So this small little thing. And Linda showed us so beautifully how she practices gratitude. I remember during the very, very special holidays when we gathered as a family, my grandma was present and she saw her children and all the grandchildren, and I was the littlest one of them gathered. And Grandma was tearing up as she looked on. And I went to Grandma and asked her, "Grandma, why are you sad?" And Grandma looked down at me and said, "Cutie, I'm not sad. I'm grateful that I live to see this and feel it and experience it. Cutie, I love you." And I looked at Grandma and said, "I love you too." What are you grateful for? How do you express gratitude?